Welcome. I'm the COO and co-founder of Helcyon, and today I'm here with Lukas Swid, our CEO, and Ben Swanson, our CMO. So, Lucas, could you kind of dive into where Helcyon came from and the origin story of Helcyon?
Sure. Helcyon came about because I used to struggle a lot with every month having to digest P&Ls for 29 companies at once. So it was very difficult to just get the P&Ls from my CFO and go behind the scenes, behind the numbers to see what was driving them. Anybody who manages a company knows that a P&L is just not enough for you to make decisions. Just see a bottom line, and oftentimes it's already outdated. So you got to go behind the numbers to see what is driving everything. So I used to take maybe a few days to go through all of the P&Ls, and I wonder at that time how amazing it would be if there was a product that could just do the digestion for me. I could just validate them. And this is how the idea started. But the other reason is that today I own a few businesses, and by the time I see the P&L at the end of the month, I already am way behind on a lot of things, including understanding any danger, any type of red flags, any flaws, any kind of breakdown in the system. There is no diagnostics, real-time diagnostic that I can rely upon. I have to wait until the P&L comes, and at that time, the damage that was already happening 15 days ago had 15 days or more to continue to do damage to my business. Helcyon solves that problem.
Thank you, Lucas. And Ben, can you kind of dive into, who's this product for? It's not for the big corporate guys making $25 million a year. It's for those little guys that need the help. Kind of get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a market that exists of 36 million small business owners that have little to no visibility of what their financial health and their financial world looks like outside of QuickBooks. Majority of them have a QuickBooks subscription, or they use an Excel document sheet to mark down, their profit and loss. But what we are wanting to provide and help the market with is being able to give those 36 million small business owners a new level of insight and diagnosis to what their financial world looks like in a very simple format, digestible, prescribable, and delivered. We would do a once a month delivery of inbox to their email inbox of what their entire monthly financials look like. And being able to have something just like any software, a monthly subscription, when it comes to your business's finances, it's a world that you don't want to take on yourself because it's very intimidating, but you also don't necessarily want to outsource it and not understand all of it. So being able to bridge that gap and being able to position myself, let's say, as a small business owner, and have something that gives me a very new insight, 24/7 insight to what my numbers are doing and why they're doing it, versus looking at the P&L at the end of the month and saying, oh, this happened, now I have to react, versus being proactive in that, getting that insight to say, oh, this is why this happened, this is what we're going to do to prevent that, and this is what we're going to do moving forward.
And Helcyon, we're positioning ourselves as the business doctor. So every year you go to the doctor and the doctor takes your pulse, your blood pressure, all these different things, and tells you what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how to fix it. Essentially, what we're doing is the same thing for businesses. We look at your cash pulse. How much cash is coming in? Where's it coming from? And where's it going? Your revenue. How much revenue is coming in? Who's it coming from? And the amount that you need to continue to be at the level that you're at. Then we have the customer heartbeat. Who are your customers? What is their churn, their lifetime value of the customers? And all this is broken down. So all these acronyms that I'm using, it uses in plain English, so anybody will be able to understand it. We have the margin temperature. How much of that revenue are you keeping for profit? And then where is the others going? And we have the growth oxygen. They say that if you're not growing, you're dying. So we need to track that, and that is important vital sign. Lucas, could you kind of dive into the defensive layer of Helcyon in the immune system?
Yeah, the defensive layer is understanding when things break down, they break down, when they break down, and fixing it. Imagine if you have a bleeding, happening in your body, and you're only going to catch it days later, a month later. The amount of damage that it does, it could kill you. In business, is no different. It's the same thing. A problem, anything is breaking, leaking, especially if money is leaking due to whatever, you don't want to wait until a P&L comes around to try to see where it comes from. And mind you, P&Ls don't tell you that. It just gives you the bottom line, right? So what we did was we built a system where you can see when things break as they break. You get a warning, and you decide what to do about it. We're going to give you a suggestion too, as a prescription, but you decide what to do and when to do. So this protects business 24/7. Okay, if anything, an anomaly, anything out of the ordinary happens, whether it is a vendor getting paid twice, or a subscription that is dormant for a long time, or an unexpected, out of the blue kind of, a billing that hits your checking account, you would know as they happen, and you decide what to do. It's something that was lacking all these years when it comes to business finances, unless you have somebody in the company whose job is to watch those things 24/7. Small businesses don't have that kind of luxury. They can afford a CFO to watch the business, the finances 24/7. And this is what we built.
And part of being a good doctor is being able to see the future. Like if you let this vital sign continue to be hurting, this is what's going to happen to your body. You're going to die or you're going to get sick. And another feature of Helcyon is the scenario engine. Ben, tell us more about the scenario engine and how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just talking on the phone the other day to an excavation contractor. He was doing probably around $500,000 a year in revenue, but he told me, he said, by the end of 2030, I want to have at least a new fleet of 5 new Drakos. And he said, I wish there was something that existed that I could see into the future, what that purchase would look like, and if it was feasible for my situation right now. And I directly went in and talked back with Blake and Lukas and said, this is exactly the situation we're building to fix. Being able to run and model scenarios like this, whether it's hiring a role, taking on debt, any type of future projection that you're going to have in your business, we are now able to give that to you and say, look, here's the conservative approach you can take, and here's the aggressive approach you can take. And giving them that access to say, oh, I could actually pull this off, or there's no way in hell I'm pulling this off.
Yeah, and it's AI that allows us to give us this type of insight, but it's not the traditional AI that you're thinking, the large language models. You can go put your financial data in a Claude and get some results, but Helcyon is entirely set apart from that. Lukas, kind of get into what sets us apart from these large language models and why somebody would come to us.
Sure. Well, AI, LLMs, they're not reliable when it comes to numbers. They will produce several different types of answers for the same problem. So you don't want to base your decisions on a system that is not reliable. Also, it lies, it hallucinates a lot, makes up stories a lot. So it's not something you can rely upon. And if you build a company that is solely based on AI, it is doomed to fail, as many already did. So what we did was we did very hardcore, old-fashioned programming. We grabbed all of the questions, all of the equations, all of the potential questions that any business could possibly have when it comes to trying to understand the P&L. We programmed it into the engine to produce the answers, so it will never break down, never deviate, and never come up with anything that is not true. It honors math, which is the only science that is truly exact. So, but we paired it with AI, though. AI has a very important role in here, which is to assemble the report. These financial softwares, they will give you the ability to go into a dashboard and produce your P&L by clicking and trying to organize things. We don't do that. You can access the dashboard if you want to, but you don't have to. On a monthly basis, we have the AI grab everything that the engine produced about your business, translate them like a doctor would translate the lab results, assemble the report, and give it to you in your inbox.
And to recap, Helcyon, it reads your financial data the way that a doctor reads lab results, like Lukas was saying. And, it tells you what's going wrong, why it's wrong, and what to do about it. And if you'd like any more information on what we're building over here at Helcyon, we're all on LinkedIn, Lukas Swid, Ben Swanson, and Blake Drakos. And we also have a financial intelligence library on our website that is 500 plus articles of how these vital signs impact your business and what to do about it. So thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Great.
Thanks, everyone.